My name is Richard Cree, and this is my little web show that I call Inner Storm Games Presents, or ISGP. Inner Storm Games is the company name that I set up for myself to produce my own games under, but since that's kind of slow going at the moment, I shifted gears a bit, started doing these web shows. Started with counting down my top 100. We did some game demos. We did Conquest of Planet Earth, Legendary Dark City, and most recently Robinson Crusoe. Eldritch Horror is in production. But right now we're counting down my top 100 games again, this time as of the year 2013. Last time we did 100 through 91, and this time we're going to do 90 through 81. So without any further ado, let's get right to it. Galaxy.
Number 19, Thanks for the Galaxy.
Alright, my number 90 game debuted on my list in 2009 at number 8. It's dropped just a bit, obviously, but it's one I still enjoy playing. That's Race for the Galaxy. Race for the Galaxy is a card game where you're using cards for all sorts of things, but you're building a tableau where you have planets that you're trying to get points with the planets that you earn or research items. You're trying to get the most points until someone has 12 planets on their tableau, and then the winner is determined by victory points at that time. But just the options in this game are great. It uses kind of a role selection. So there's explore, draw cards, or you can place down a card, colonization to place down a card. You can do research, you can produce resources, or you can turn in those resources. And it's just the way you get cards, or the way you get the resources and put the planets down, you have to pay to put the card down with other cards. So you need cards, hoping to get the good cards you want to put down. Then once you get them, you got to get more cards in order to pay for them to put down. But do you want to use your good cards to pay for a better card, or how do you weigh those decisions? Anyway, a great game. I loved it a lot. Don't have the new expansion. There's one coming out, Alien Artifacts. I think that actually goes back and reuses the original deck, but not all the other expansions. I don't know how cool I am with that, because this is a card game and there's a lot of cards in this box. I have to go out and pull out 3 expansions worth of cards just to get the core decks out, depending on what I want to play. I probably am not going to get the expansions, especially since this is dropping down my list a bit, so this will probably be all I ever have for Race of the Galaxy. Still, if you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. My number 90, Race of the Galaxy.
Number 9, Takiwoko.
Number 89 is new to the list this year. It's one I'd seen for a while, but I hadn't really got a chance to play. That's Takenoko. Takenoko is a game about bamboo farming, of all things, where you're trying to earn victory points by growing. It's really a pattern, like a pattern collection game almost. You're trying to grow a certain color pattern of bamboo patches that are hexes. You're trying to grow a certain height or a certain pattern of bamboo that match a certain hex. Or you're trying to have the little panda run around and eat the bamboo and eat certain amounts of bamboo. A really clever little game. There's a dice that's rolled that you use to determine what actions or bonus action you get to take, or how the weather will, like a weather dice, how the weather will affect you. And then whoever has the most points at the end gets the Emperor card. A really neat little game. I was really impressed by it. Not one I thought I'd enjoy as much as I did, but I really do enjoy it. Great family game for sure. My number 89, Takenoko.
I am 8, Domain.
Number 88 is making its 3rd year on my list. A little deck builder called Eminent Domain. What makes Eminent Domain really cool as a deck builder is that there's only 5 cards ever in the game that you can be building your deck from, yet they still manage to build a great game around it. And those cards can help you either survey to draw more cards, colonize a new world, have warfare to attack a world to claim it, or you can produce or trade or produce, and the other one, which is research. And each turn you're going to have 2 options or 2 actions. One is like an optional action. You can either play a card straight from your hand and do what it says. The other thing that you have to do is what's called leading a roll. And so you pick one of those cards, those 5 options, and each card's going to have 2 choices on it. Like one is whoever leads the roll, so you get to do the primary, then everybody else can do that secondary if they choose to. You can also boost your choice by, you choose that roll, you can take one card, but if you have extra cards in your hand, you can boost it multiple times, especially with the research option. You can use that to get better research cards. But that's really a cool idea. That way, because you have 5 cards in your hand, there's only 5 cards in the deck, you can really stack your deck pretty well to get the kind of card where you want to be a colonizing kind of player or a warfare kind of player. It's still a little bit solitary. Your worlds are your worlds. Hopefully, an expansion's coming out, they'll have more of a interactive aspect to it. But it's just a really fun game. Another one of those pretty light as far as the deck builder is concerned, but still a bit of unsuspected depth. Sitting in Eminent Domain, my number 88.
And 87, they 8 butters.
Number 87 is another game that's been on my list since almost the beginning. It's the game of Hollywood wheeling and dealing and movie making. Waikinikia's Hollywood Blockbuster. Again, I'm not big on auction games. I love this auction game. Hollywood Blockbuster, you are creating movies. You're bidding contract options to get directors and actors and sound engineers and special effects people and camera crews. And you're trying to choose when to bid or how much to bid in order to get the best crews, the best directors, but they're all intermingled together. So at what point do you want to bid to get higher rated things, higher rated items, or do you want to wait maybe later down the road and try and build up your contracts? In this auction game, the spoils of the winner get dispersed amongst everybody else. So even if you're not winning auctions for a while, you're still building up your contract supply, so you'll have more contracts to bid later on. What really sells this game for me is that it's played across the course of a year, so every time around the board is considered a season. And at the end of each season there's awards given, and then at the end of the year tons of awards are given for Best Picture, Worst Picture, Best Director, first to complete a certain type of movie. That more than anything, the bragging rights of getting the awards will probably help keep Hollywood Blockbuster stay on my list for quite a long time. Actually, I don't think it's Hollywood Blockbuster anymore. I believe it's Dream Factory now. Still the same game, the same concept. I highly recommend you go check it out. My number 87, Hollywood Blockbuster or Dream Factory. For sale.
And 86 for sale.
Number 86 is another new one to the list this year. This one a little bit lighter fare. For Sale. For Sale is a game of real estate that moves really fast, pretty lightweight, but tons of fun. In this game, you're bidding on properties and then going back and trying to sell those properties at the right time to get the most money for them. And then at the end, whoever has the most combined money across the 2 rounds, because you can carry over money if you have left over from the first round to the end, wins the game. It plays fast. I'm talking 15-20 minutes fast. And it's an absolute blast. Knowing when to play the right cards at the right time. Little box, big fun, For Sale.
And on the stars.
Number 85, another new one to the list. This is my 7 Wonders killer. This is Among the Stars. 7 Wonders, as you know, is what they call a drafting game where you take a hand of cards, you choose one from that hand, you pass it on to the person next to you in one direction or the other. It usually rotates back and forth. Among the Stars takes 7 Wonders to the next level. In Among the Stars, you're building a space station with these small square-shaped cards, and you're using money to be able to put them out, or sometimes you have to spend energy from your power generators. Sometimes you have to go buy a power generator because you don't have enough power to generate and get the cards you want. The cards really work well together. There's different colors of the cards. They work in tandem, or they work depending on how many other cards you have. You can score points now when you play them. Other cards you don't score until the end of the game. This is pretty much, not that 7 Wonders had that much interactivity. Oh, you fight the person on either side of you, which is actually the best part of 7 Wonders. To have something like that in Among the Stars would be really nice. It's like engaging each other's space stations. I do hear that there's the Ambassadors, I think, is the expansion that's coming out for Among the Stars. I can't wait to get my hands on that. This is just an amazing game. There's different races you have in here, so each player's going to have their own unique abilities, not just unique goals you're trying to achieve, but they do have secret goals and public goals also that you're trying to achieve, which Seven Wonders does not have. So all in all, this game just, I don't think Seven Wonders even made my top 100 this year. It's quickly dropping off the list. Still a fun game, but not top 100 material anymore, especially when games like Among the Stars are here to take its place.
1984, next in my calendar.
Alright, my number 84 is a worker placement game. For those of you who have been in some deep dark corner or just watching my video series for the first time, I am a big fan of worker placement games. And apparently Iron Man 2. I don't know how that rumor got started, but it's out there. Believe it if you want to. But the worker placement rumor, that is true. And next game on my list, tzlok'in, is currently one of my favorites. What I like about tzlok'in versus other worker placement games is they have this gear mechanic. When there's 4 gears on the board, and as you turn the main gear, no, it's 5 gears on the board. You turn the main gear, the smaller gears spin around, and you're placing your workers on these gears, and they're spinning around, and you're taking them off at the right time to get those resources that you want. To me, that's a really cool mechanic. It has some of the other standard things that most worker placement games, you're gathering resources to purchase monuments or buildings or research new powers that you can use for the game that have this kind of cool pyramid mechanic where you're climbing up the pyramid, or the 3 different pyramids, you're climbing up each one trying to be the highest on the pyramid to get certain benefits and points. Like I said, I like worker placement. I like the concept. You're putting down a guy, you claim that action, block other people from getting it. VS Rebellion, the game I'm designing, it uses the same concept to a degree. I don't know. I like tzlok'in. I have not played the expansion yet, the tribes and something tribes. I'm hoping it just boosts the game even higher. Might climb higher on my list. I don't know. For now, it's sitting here at number 84. And that's tzlok'in, the Mayan calendar.
Number 3, Imbo.
Alright. Number 83 is another repeat to the list. I believe it debuted last year. It's the dinosaur game, as we like to call it at work. Evo. Evo is a game where you are mutating your dinosaurs. You're on a small island that's, if you're familiar with Small World, it's the same kind of concept. The island is too small for everybody to be on it. Each turn, each season, you're going to be mutating your dinosaurs to deal with the harsh conditions, because this is one tough island to live on. There's only parts of it are going to be extremely hot, and if your dinosaur is not suitable or evolved for living in warm climates, you're in trouble. Others are going to be cold. If you're not suited to living in cold environments, you're in trouble. Some are just going to be utter wastelands, incapable of supporting any kind of life at all, while others, they're okay. Hang out there as long as you want. The randomness, the auction mechanic of the randomness is like the powers that come out, but the auction mechanic here of bidding on a power, and you're bidding your own victory points, which is nice. I think Small World does the same thing. Actually, this is Philip Kiart, so yeah, same designer. Evo and Small World, same designer, so same concept of taking your victory points and having to use those victory points to purchase things that maybe help you get more victory points, or you might end up spending too many and getting something that doesn't really help you as much as you thought. And the dial can go forward 2, forward 1, back 1. You don't know where the dial's which way the dial's going to go. So you don't really know what the conditions are going to be. A couple of turns in the future, you only know for that exact turn how to place your dinosaurs before they start dying off. A pretty light game overall. A great gateway game. I think this is one of the favorites of our work group to play. Again, as we call it, the dinosaur game. It's Evo at number 83.
To India.
Number 82 is SimCity the game, for all intents and purposes. SimCity, the game of managing your population and your income, is also the game of building commercial and urban and industrial areas with little hexes, or you can build rivers. This game is great. It's got a solo version, so I'll probably, after Eldritch Horror, I may come back and do Suburbia as a solo playthrough. just the concept of knowing when to get the right hex to help you out. You want to build urban areas. You want to put, how are you going to place your city? How are you going to build it out? When to place water areas? Where to place commercial areas? Oh, do you want to buy that hex because you've already got one? And if you have more than that, it's going to hurt you. Or hey, this hex plays off everybody else, so everybody else, is affected by it, or you're affected based on what everybody else has. It's those kind of details that help take this above just really a solitaire game and bring the interactivity. But it's SimCity. Another got an expansion out that's Suburbia Inc., where they're putting in borders and things. I'd really kind of see them take this down the SimCity route a little bit further and do weather things. Let's have Suburbia Violent Storm or something. Hey, Suburbia Inner Storm. I think that'd be great. Maybe we'll do that down in the future. Until then, I definitely gotta go get the Suburbia Inc. expansion. I don't have that yet. Having the blast playing Suburbia already as it is, and that's why it's sitting at number 82 on my top 100 list.
And then Turno.
Okay.
And now that's it.
Finally, on today's countdown, my number 81 is Blood Bowl Team Manager from Fantasy Flight Games. Who doesn't love football? This is a football culture here in America, and Blood Bowl is probably, we're this far away from Blood Bowl as it is. We're just going to put spikes on the ball, spikes on people's uniforms, throw some of the players around as decoys. At its core, Blood Bowl Team Manager is really kind of just war. I'm trying to play cards that are higher than my opponent, but knowing which cards to play at the right time. There are other effects. Each card has its own effect that can happen. There's bonus effects you can get that affect your whole team or just individual players. If you're the bad guys, you can cheat. Sometimes it's mandatory to cheat. Tournaments everybody can take place in. There's 3 leagues now: the good guys, the bad guys, and the undead, or magic. I don't know how you want to call it, but it's like the undead and the dark elves and somebody else. I mean, this is great. The teams end up random, not random, but the cards you have in your hand, they're random every time. No matter who you're playing, when you play them, how you play them. It makes for great fun. Blood Bowl Team Manager, my number 81. Alright, that wraps it up for this edition of ISGP. We'll be back soon with games number 80 through 71. In the meantime, you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. You can check out the website, unless you've been there in the past couple of months or so, because it really hasn't been updated. I haven't had time to do that yet. Best idea, subscribe to the channel. Best way to stay in tune to what's going on if you like what you see. If you like any of the games, go check them out, or check out the publishers, see if there's anything else out there, somewhere that you like. In the meantime, thank you for your support. I appreciate your watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.